Hi everybody, so this is David Basantes and we're going to be checking today an introduction to academic English. In this session we're going to check 3 topics. The writing plan, which is taking notes or brainstorming before you write any composition. The second point is going to be the paragraph, and number 3 is going to be the essay. So let's quickly start. So before you write any academic text, any academic document, first you should plan. You should either take notes or brainstorm. So in this diagram, you have the 2 possible ways to plan your writing. First, taking notes. So when you take notes, you should have a topic and then 3 important points at least. In academic writing, it's very common to have 3 important points as the minimum, but you can also have 5 important points, or you can have up to 7 important points. In this case, the minimum 3, you have, this is the layout, let's say, and you have the point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3 with the corresponding examples, or we also call them supporting ideas. Now the same layout, you have them here in the brainstorm format. Basically you have a circle here with the topic in the center, and then every point, the 3 points, point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3 around it. Now each point has 3 branches, which are the subtopics or the examples, also called supporting ideas. Now let's have a look to these layouts with real text. We're going to start writing a composition, and the plan is going to be like this. In this case, the topic is going to be fruits. So I have chosen 3 points as example. Point number 1 is the apple, number 2 is the banana, and number 3 is the orange. Now in each point we have 3 supporting ideas or examples. In the case of apple, we have fiber, crunch, and juice. In the case of banana, we have potassium, energy, and peel. And in the case of orange, we have citrus, vitamin Z, and zest. Note that I'm not writing sentences or full sentences. No, I'm just using key words. The same if I choose to use a brainstorm format. I'm going to have fruits as the topic in the center, and then the 3 fruits around as points, like apple, banana, and orange. And then each point has 3 branches, like fiber, crunch, juice, or in the case of banana, I have potassium, energy, or peel. In the case of orange, I have citrus, vitamin, zest. So let's talk a little bit about the pros and the cons of each one of these 2 formats. So when you take notes, this tends to be quick, like this, and you also don't use up too much space. Sometimes you don't have space or you don't have paper to write down, and this format will allow you to plan with little space. On the other hand, this brainstorm format is a little bit more stimulating for creativity. Yes, many people report that when they do a graphic like this, a brainstorm, they feel more confident with their creativity and their ideas. But in any case, you can use either one and it's correct. Remember, in the planning, we do not need full sentences. For example, here in this example 2 from the orange, if we write this, like for example, high vitamin Z content in citrus fruits for immune support. Yeah, it's like notes still, but you don't need to put all of that. As long as you can put just vitamin Z, for example, it's enough, because this is just memory help for you for the time when later you start writing. Okay, so having said that, let's move on to the next part, which is the paragraph. Every academic writing is compounded by this unit of a concept, the idea, which is the paragraph. So these are the elements, or the most common elements in a paragraph: the point, 3 examples, conclusion, comment, and transition. Very quickly, the point is the principal idea, and the 3 examples are sentences, separate sentences that present each one of the supporting ideas or examples you planned. But then we have 3 new elements: the conclusion, the comment, and the transition. So the conclusion is really one of the most important elements in professional writing, and a key to do a good conclusion is to repeat the point or say the point, but in other words. This is called more technically paraphrasing. So you do a paraphrase of the point with synonyms of the words you're using. That is a conclusion, or a conclusion sentence inside the paragraph. Then the comment is more like a more personal feeling about the topic, your personal opinion or view about the point. And finally, we have this element called the transition. The transition is this next point presentation. You finish by presenting what you're going to say in the next paragraph. So let's quickly have a look on an example, how this would look like. So point number 1 is going to be the apple, and then the examples are fiber, crunch, and juice. So what I'm doing is basically I am transforming each word into a sentence. For example, the word apple now is a sentence with that word. The apple is a fruit that offers a unique combination of texture and health benefits. That's going to be the point or the main idea. Then I'm going to write one sentence with each one of the examples, the supporting ideas. Let's start with fiber. So its high fiber content supports digestive wellness. Crunch. Its distinct crunch provides a satisfying sensory experience for the consumer. And then juice. When pressed, the fruit yields a refreshing juice that serves as a staple beverage for many cultures. And so I have used up all of the elements from my plan. Then I'm going to continue with the conclusion, the comment, and the transition. In the conclusion, I'm going to say the same point, but in a paraphrase with synonyms. Ultimately, these qualities demonstrate the utility of this sweet fruit in a modern diet. Look what I'm doing here. I say this sweet fruit, which means the apple. I am saying apple, but in other words, with synonyms. This as a whole is a paraphrase. That is a conclusion. In my comment, I'm going to say, consequently, it remains a favorite choice for snackers and chefs alike. That would be the comment. And a transition, just presenting a possible or potential next point. Another great fruit is the banana. So that means that in the next paragraph, I'm going to talk about bananas, the banana. Okay, so let's see how would the 3 paragraphs be as finished. So here I have my point number 1, my point number 2, and my point number 3. And by using this formula that we just saw, I have transformed each point into an academic paragraph. If you take a time to read this, you can pause the video and read. You will see that each paragraph follows this structure. Note that in the end of each paragraph, I have a nice transition that introduces the next paragraph. A very important element. In the last paragraph, you might not use a transition, or you might wait to see if you're going to add more paragraphs. Then you decide what transition to use. Let's move on. Now that I have these 3 paragraphs, I need to understand that these 3 paragraphs are going to be the body of the composition, the body of the essay, but I need an introduction paragraph and I need a conclusion paragraph. So let's take a time to learn how to write an introduction. So to write an introduction, I'm going to select the first sentence of every paragraph. Then I'm going to copy them in the intro. Literally, just copy them. Okay, that's the only thing I'm going to do. This would look like this. See, the 3 sentences, all of them together, one after the other, in the introduction. And this is already the beginning of an introduction. Then I'm going to insert here a new sentence. This sentence is going to be called the topic sentence. This is a very important sentence because it's the first thing the reader is going to read. Depending on this sentence, people will decide if they continue reading or not. So it has to be catchy, interesting, and also informing about what you're going to say next. If I'm talking about apples, bananas, and oranges, maybe my topic is going to need the word fruits. As a matter of fact, if you remember in our plan, that was the topic. So definitely that word should be in the topic sentence. Check this example. There are many different kinds of popular fruits in the world. And yes, now if you see, I'm starting to form a paragraph. Again, in this paragraph, I have a point or topic sentence, and I have already 3 examples, the ones I have created from the 3 sentences that I just copied literally. See? But still, this introduction is not complete yet, because I'm going to use again a conclusion, a comment, and a transition to complete the paragraph formula. And now I have a fully formed introduction. Check that I'm finishing with this transition that is going to introduce the next fruit. Many people struggle creating these transitions, but you could just mention the next thing. Basically, you could say something like, let's talk about apples, or now I'm going to introduce a new fruit. Something like that. It should be an introduction, or just showing what you're going to say in the next paragraph, so that the composition has a flow. You see? Well, so I have virtually created an introduction. But now I need a conclusion. Now, to do a conclusion in academic English, I need this phrase, in conclusion, comma. Of course, it's obvious, and you have other phrases to present conclusions. Yes, you can learn these new phrases, and maybe in a new video I will present you, but for now, let's use this typical phrase, in conclusion, comma. And then what we're going to do is literally, we're going to copy the entire introduction as a conclusion. That's what we're going to do. And many people wonder, why would we do something like that? Is it that we don't have creativity, or what? Yeah, you see, I have just copied and repeated the first paragraph. Well, there's a reason for that. So, in academic writing, the introduction should be very related to the conclusion. As a matter of fact, you should repeat the introduction in the conclusion for one reason. Readers, they will forget everything you are saying. As they continue reading, by the time they arrive to your conclusion, they might have already forgotten everything you said. So the best way to finish a document is to remind them of everything you just said. That's why the introduction, the conclusion should be the same. Of course, right now I have a lot of sentences that are repeating, right? So now it's the time to start the addition process. In the addition process, basically, you're going to start changing sentences that are repeating themselves too much. And also, you're going to be checking your style, of course, checking grammar and spelling, and yeah, giving a new twist to some sentences. But still, you have a framework to respect and to follow so that your composition has cohesion and it has a flow, basically. And this is an introduction to academic writing. So thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.